Hey, Dave Weigel, parental alienation activist and family court fraud warrior. I say that reluctantly now because I really was praying that this would not be necessary. I know this is now at its crescendo. This is not something that I'm willing to keep bothering everybody with, nor do I think it needs to be. I've decided to establish one more set of facts that I think are going to speak volumes to the people it means most to, and that is the kids. Because with everything going on in this crazy shit show, they're the only things that matter. And them being back into my life over this last 3 months has just been everything. Absolutely everything. And so far, with all of the crazy garbage still being forced down my throat, so far they're not even going near that and trying to touch that. Not as if that's an even possibility to now take back from the kids at this point. But this is so far beyond winning and losing. Thank you, everybody, for being part of this innovation, to truly reveal what's going on in, this system, and providing an alternative jury pool to establishing permanent public record of facts, necessary facts that have serious outcomes to who we hold most dear in the society, our kids. Yet, just like so many other systems in this country, how we treat vets, okay, take your pick. It's just another example of corruption, disgusting, narcissist behavior gone wild. And I'm going to do my part to try to make a dent in this. With, again, the focus on at the end of the day, just what can I sit here and speak off the cuff about that is truly, authentically, really happening, and what's most important in all this. So the big 911 here now is for those following, the case. I've seen my last two videos. I've seen what happened on May 10th when I tried to show up and offer some help, knowing what I was walking into and what risks. But I'm still not disappointed with the outcome because, once again, the most important people are my kids, and my daughter was able to, unfortunately, see just what is really, really going on here. And the others can believe whatever they want. The only people that I care about is my kids, and maintaining the ability to provide for them, which is still under attack, unfortunately. But the purpose of this video is to establish what I did in the face of everything that's gone on this last month, to try to do the opposite, just like I did in December. Throw a monkey wrench into this system. After 12 years, doing what seemed logically correct, the next best thing just has kept turning up flat. So I've really dissected this situation and really, wanted to come forth with just the ultimate example of what I would do to end this, fix this, move on from here. Okay, so those that have been following close know, and I'm not going to get into it because it's not in my kid's best interest to know what position my ex has found herself in over this last couple of months. A position she and her people would surely have run with tremendously, without an ounce of concern about the greater good, the kids, me, her. It was pure gold I had in my hands to win a case, but not win the hearts and minds of my children. So, I walked into that. And I walked into some BS that I thought was completely done and over with 2 years ago. Already dismissed in New York. BS lie about what constitutes harassment or threatening. Come on, there's laws about these things, but everything is about, is there just enough to make it look legitimate so that we can continue with our fraud machine? Especially now that everybody's in CYA mode, cover your assets mode. So basically, you guys all know that I could have just destroyed, and I can still at this point go over the facts of exactly what happened, all right, what implications there were on the children, what fallout we've learned from the children, and what people's reactions to said events were in consistent format, but beyond disheartening, beyond baffling. The point where you sit there and say, who are these people? What are they really capable of? So, like I said, after having my kids back, I've come to realize that it's the only thing that matters, and I need to move on with my life. And whatever this corrupt system has got in store for me, they've got in store for me. But I did already find something extraordinarily valuable, I believe many, many people should follow, and that is putting up the facts, the truth in this world of deception coming from everywhere. You know, everyone likes to piss all over social media and, you know, what can be learned off the internet or whatever, but it does have some positive points. And I think creating an alternative jury pool about these facts of my family from the tree of my life, of all people that have known me, friends close enough to want to connect and stay connected for my entire life. You know, last time I checked, bad people tend to have no connection to the past. Good people tend to hold on to relationships their whole life. You know, not all of them. I certainly have suffered some broken bonds with the smear campaign that I've been living through for the past 10 years. But every single day, more and more connections are being made, and more light at the end of the tunnel is opening, because I'm riding this sea of truth and righteousness. And what I need to do here today is to establish the facts of what's happened since my last two videos, where we are right now, what I did as opposite reaction to what people would think is the appropriate act or the rational act, in offering her an outrageous amount of generosity to give the kids what they need, what they want. You know, kids, I've got the kids speaking to help, to expert help. And while, you know, he cannot betray their confidence, the sum total of the conversations had thus far from both kids is that they need this to end. As if that isn't obvious to all. Kind of knew that going in. This was information I just got very, very recently. But almost at the time, all the stuff was happening with the evidence of her breaking into my accounts again. And a laundry list of evidence behind that shows this repeated behavior. Still no fear, no concern whatsoever to close this up before too many eyes are looking. It's incredibly confusing to deal with this kind of a tyrant, yet involved in the dynamic of your family in this way. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. It's incredibly trying. But I'm getting better every single day, And I'm making inroads every day, and this is a very important one here today, because at the moment in time, I had the most amount of ability to sink my ex and win this case outright, handling financially, every other aspect, just win across the board. But destroy her the way that she's been trying to destroy me. And I didn't, and I paid for it, and I'm still paying for it legally, because now I've got to go and defend my innocence yet again. But in a whole new court, as another example of just the gross utilization of the criminal justice system to purport their scam on the family court side. This situation we've seen, I know of 50 cases identical to mine. And speaking with others close to this, I must have connected with 30, 35 different people connected to this family court system, some of them very, very closely connected to the same attorneys that we're going to hear a lot more about, showing an modus operandi of, oh, so this is not really about this case. This is what this person does in every single one of his cases. And oh, by the way, how come Daniel Notes only sits in front of 2 judges? Isn't that against the whole lottery system? What does that say by itself? Anyone can go to the NYSEF system and see. Just plug in his name. Attorney Daniel B. Notes. Take a look at the last 36 cases. Why 90% in front of the same 2 judges? How can that be legitimate? But you know what? There's going to be more coming out about this. And when all the facts are in hand, we'll report them. But right now, I'm going to keep the focus on the kids and the family and what I did to try and avoid all of this. Yes, I want to better the world and the system and hold accountable people that deserve to be. But on top of everything, I need to protect my kids. So what I offered in the midst of all of this, instead of going to crush her, I offered, hey, you know what? I've reframed in my mind the idea of giving you an enormous amount of my future or my current business or whatnot. It is not in my kids' best interest to see you spiral, to downgrade their livelihood, potentially move out of town, take them out of school. This is not in their interest. And you're in the situation that you're in. Whether you deserve it or not, you're in this situation. So I made the offer. Besides the $5,000 a month, besides the full payment of college, besides the 1.3 in total over 13 years, I said I would also give you 25% of Weigel Fam, of my business, and all the future growth. 25% purely just to end this for the kids. And I discussed this with a couple of people who thought I was absolutely insane. Dave, why? She deserves nothing. That's what's on paper. It's black and white. You made the same amount of money. You're going to sign up for this slavery for, this 25% partner that just owns everything at a quarter for the next 13 years of your life? Yeah, to end it for the kids. And if, in fact, that money is, in fact, going to where they live, their home, prevent them from moving, I don't know, a sixth time in 8 years, I've reframed it in my mind. I said, that's fine. I know it might be something that I'm going to look back over time and really feel like, should not have done. But I mentioned it. I mentioned it to Georgie a couple of weeks ago. And she almost immediately jumped at it, but then reminded herself, no, she can't do that. And I said, well, you better act quickly on my offer, because before I get my wits about me and start thinking a little bit more sanely. This is to finally end it for the kids, finally give them a summer, a reprieve. You know, I had my first Father's Day. The comparison to this Father's Day just a couple of days ago and the one previously, last year, at the worst. The amount of physical pain I felt, the inability to escape your own head, your own pain. It's astronomical. Astronomical how much life has changed in the last year. So yeah, this offer is worth it to me. Was worth it to me. And I'll put it on permanent public record that I'm willing to abide by it at any point, and also without regard, which is the whole reason why she has rejected it, because she doesn't want to give up the position they have against me in court next week, where I guess they feel that a single argument string from 2 years ago is grounds for criminal action. I can go into the millions of pieces of examples of just how ridiculous. I was 5 states away. I was in the middle of my seizures, literally days before 6 seizures. There's still a text message. It's not a criminal event. It was one. Over 5 years, there were about 17 setups, organized and concocted by Daniel Notes. Do this, do this, do this. Set him up, set him up. The worst was around my 50th birthday. Years of torment. They know that they've had me broken and twisted and embattled, and just a bloody pulp of emotions. It's my 50th birthday, and they did the same. First, plan it. You're gonna see your kids, Dave. You're gonna see your kids. Like a starving person. Here's a cracker. Here's a cracker. And as we get closer and closer, I'm gonna see them like, then they change it. Day before to a call. Then the day of. No call with your kids for your 50th birthday. That's what Daniel Notes teaches his clients. That's his modus operandi. This is what we've learned from, thank God, the press has taken such an interest in his activities that turns out multiple of his victims, previously opponents, all getting in touch with the press, and then me. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to make the case about how bad of a guy David Weigel really is when we see not only the same 17 events in his case, but in every single case before him, with the only determinant factor being what level was his client willing to go. And just one more thing about Daniel Notes, because he is the main driver of all of this. What we've learned is, and I've discussed this before, I interviewed 5 different law firms. All told me, oh, that firm? Yeah, they've got criminals on the payroll that they pay to go create the case they need. And they're famous for teaching their clients the toilet bowl trick. You know the toilet bowl trick? It's where they teach the women how to trip themselves far enough away from a toilet bowl to smash into it, get a shiner, call the police. My husband beats me. Yep. This is what I've been up against. This is what goes unchecked. This is what happens when you have a town without a police force. It literally is. There is no regulator. What would happen in New York City if no police force for a weekend? Yet this is what's happening in this court system. And this is what gives my ex this feeling of ultimate power, to get away with anything she wants because she has. But there's about a year's worth of videos that I've put forth here in a way that tells a story that a lot of people get. A lot of people can see. And I was hoping that I could just move all this over to this Family Court Fraud Warrior platform that we've set up. The team is growing every single day. I'm collecting interested parties, other victims, other smart, decent, good parents, great parents that have been battered like me and want to see it changed for the next family that has to go through this. So yeah, I made the offer to my ex, and I couldn't believe how anybody in their right mind could say no to these millions and millions of dollars. Boom, all of a sudden, problem that she's broke is now fixed. Problem that she can't do her job at 70 years old and doesn't have, and likely not to have, enough money to retire herself the way she lives now, fixed. I got it. All the issues about the kids, the instability, fixed. Everything fixed. Except, what's her story? How she look good from this point forward, since I've put everything out here like this. Amazing how that much can hold things up, but this is why I've sent all the research about the narcissist personality disorder, because we learned these people, they don't change. They're not going to get it one day. No light's going to go off. No love that you and I feel for our kids is going to automatically, boom, it's just been this disbelief. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance she's really not, even though every bit of evidence says that she is. But you hold on to, and you desperately want to believe that that's not your future. But anyway, I gave her until I nicely said on last Friday, I said, look, we've been talking nicely throughout. I said, Georgie, time's ticking. Court's coming up. Okay, I need to know whether I've got to defend myself or not. Are you taking the deal or not? I got to know by Monday. And her MO is to always delay, and then, oops, too much time went by. I didn't mean it. Yeah, right, who believes that? But I finally put my foot down and I said, Georgie, Monday, gotta know. And she played back and forth, asking about logistics of the kids and taking Evo up to tennis camp up in Massachusetts, where I'm at now. And makes no sense for me to warn her again. All the stress made me pass out at 7 o'clock at night. Passed out cold in bed and woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nothing. I had to react. So I figured nothing like authentic public record than what I actually said. So yesterday, 2 o'clock in the morning, I said, so you've decided. Georgie, you are so sick in the head. I'm posting this entire string. There will be zero confusion about what you now refused, again, to end this embarrassment for your children. You are truly criminally insane. Buckle up. Then I smelled, okay, then I got, Dave, please stop. I said, oh, right, here we go. This is now to incite there's further harassment going on. Forget about the 72 other texts that are all perfectly, well and good dealing with the kids. We only cherry pick, okay? Daniel Notes only needs one text. There's no reason for him to look at all of them and get the true context. So I had already been writing a response. And I said, actually, after meditating on it, I got to thank you. Phew. I said, why the heck would I want to give up 25% of my substantiated genius, okay, just so the kids have a safety net in your current spiral? I said, I'll be mom and dad on that one too, I guess. You keep showing the kids the worst morals, ethics, and evil this ugly world has to throw at them, and I will continue to show them the only thing you can do about it, what men do in this world. Deal with it, move on. At least my children will have yet another badge of honor on the wall of daddy crazy in love with us. But unfortunately, hanging next to the wall of shame, that is their mother. Great job, superstar. You could have given them and yourself the greatest get out of jail free pass this world has ever seen. But no, you are so owned by your disease of jealousy and covert self-hate. Said, don't worry, sugar. You are well on your way to not being the only one to hate you. I said, there, now you have it. One text that isn't super nice, like the previous 50, to peddle as, look, this is harassment. This was impolite about me. So what, I was making the worst decision for our children ever. Don't you see? He's being mean to me. You see me, Mr. Policeman? All my past lies are justified now. Well, I said, duh. I said, I'm bringing your son tennis shoes. You didn't check to see you packed his sister's. Great job, Supermom. So I guess in feeling the validity of this, she decided, maybe I don't have anything to go to the police and go back and say, oh, this is further evidence of further harassment. So I sent the text message from my son last night, how he said it was horrible. He was wearing shoes 2 sizes too small. I mean, he packed for himself, but it's just another sign. I said, from your son last night, it's good that I'm here for him. I said, I'm buying the water bottle at Walmart in Massachusetts. And there's no reason for us to speak any further. Have a good day. And then I get to, oh my God, he's very lucky you're there. Playing games. So I obliged by answering some logistics questions. And then this morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, then it was, oh no, let's have our conversation today. I'm home today, chat later. I said, Georgie, there's nothing to chat about. I said, I'm not playing the delay, oops, it's too late again game with you. The offer was made, reiterated, and you disregarded and disrespected it yet again. You do not get that these people do not give a shit about what happens to you and the kids. So long as their wealth hijacking machine is protected. If they find a way to jail a whistleblower like me, they do it. I've done my homework. You're taking these risks that are so irresponsible. I said, when this Connecticut judge, let's just say, happens to do your boy Notes a favor, okay? When the last second fax comes in this time, like it was in New York, and they just decide, yes, one text argument in 5 years, that's grounds for, jail, even for a week. I mean, as unlikely as that is, boom, Weigel fam is no more. I mean, you'd be fired to what comes out in the process. Where are the kids then? Our kids are screwed. Even if you slide by on my discretion. Now 100% of college is on you. And your retirement. Only two ways that doesn't happen. A, you pretend this 12 years was about your business savvy and not your personality disorder. You fully and finally agree to settle this 12-and-a-half-year divorce. Or B, I take this epic story of freedom fighting and daddy warring and ended on such a crescendo of exposure that the national media can't ignore it. And how much embarrassing are the kids in the meantime? How much more of our dirty laundry has to be aired out for everybody to see? Unfortunately, the only thing that protects our kids is one parent either doing the obvious right thing or the other parent showing his balls of steel and doing the least obvious right thing. Yeah, Notes may have one more scoundrel on the take to try and, finish my career. I know he would love that. I said, but I've connected with enough victims of his past to make him the poster child of this movement for the rest of his life. Only matters if I'm too busy rebuilding my business so that my kids can actually go to college, or if this must turn into my full-time job for all 14 hours of my day and my skills. Well then, film crew's arriving, 8 o'clock, got to jump in the shower, got to finish organizing facts. Sorry, I cannot rely on you to protect these kids. You refuse to get what you involved us in. So, look, I could have went 1,000 ways to put this last video testimonial up here. But when I say last, I know I've said that before, but I realize now we've told the story we needed to tell. Right? Whatever's going to happen in this court is going to happen in this court, and I'm going to deal with it. Okay? But the evidence of this case is going to be analyzed by AI. That's a when. That's not an if. Everybody knows that. So it's not just about winning now. There's going to be a lot of people held accountable maybe 2, 3, 5, even 10 years from now. That is Mr. FBI guy in the public corruption unit who could just sit there right now saying, oh, well, I can't risk my career. This is above me. Just picture what it's going to be like defending your actions in the face of, if I know 50 stories, how many are you supposed to know of? Mr. Notes, you are the poster child of this designer child trafficking. I didn't come up with that term. That's exactly what you do. And the evidence being collected shows that you do this to everybody. Judge Dawson, you got a lot to answer to. Denying 20 people access, court watchers, to our last case, that's beyond your level of discretion. You're going to have a lot to answer to, no matter what you do to me. I'm not going to be the last person that follows up with this idea of providing the transparency you go through so much effort to deny everywhere. That 1,600 files that I filed on NYSEF is being analyzed by AI. I'd have it now, except I have a day job, and I got a commitment to my clients for 10 hours, the first 10 hours of the day. Otherwise, I'd have it right now. This is a when, not an if. Taylor Koss, you try to come off as you're just this guy caught in the middle. You worked against me, against my children. That's as big a breach of ethics of any professional on the planet. And you deserve every bit of repercussions coming your way. So look, yep, I'm not going to bother everybody. Try and show up on Wednesday in Connecticut. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. If they're going to find a way, they're not going to lock me up for 10 years. If they're going to find a way to say a text message argument from 2 years ago, 5 states away, is grounds for some sort of conviction just to try and kill the messenger, just to try to silence the whistleblower, well, I've got one last message for anyone trying to kill this whistleblower. Be happy. I can only do this 2 hours a day. Thank you.